So I think everybody is gathered. And so before I make my introduction for Lama Lodu Rinpoche, we can go ahead and say some, let me do one thing here really quickly. Get this ready. Okay. Baldan Zawe Lama Rinpoche Dagi Chivo Pede Danjola Kadren Jamboy Gone Jajonte Koso Toki Noto Zaldo So Anye Chodam Soke Chonamla Shanjo Bada Dane Kabzachi Tagi Zinza Gebe Sanam Jola Benje Zanya Jobarjo Sanya Chodam Soke Chonamla Shanjo Bada Dane Kabzachi Tagi Zinza Gebe Sanam Jola Benje Sanya Jobarjo Sanya Chodam Zoge Chonamla Shanja Bada Dane Kabzachi Tage Zenza Gebe Zonamki Jola Benje Sanya Jobarjo Zaza Wadan Chujin Shabadan Jezu Chujin Zowayi Yewa Junze Tage Shizapa Tamze Zobe Janjub Jengoro Zashi Muju Chujin Meto Jom Vira Binshi Nede Gembadi Sanye Zendu Mete Powayi Roko Nanda Jinla Jubarjo Semzen Tamze Dewa Dan Dewe Gyodan Demba Gyoshe Dunya Dan Dunya Gi Gyodan Chowa Gyoshe Dunya Mepe Dewa Dampa Dan Me Dwawa Gyoshe Nering Jadan Dan Towe Tang Nyen Jumbo La Nepa Gyoshe Semje Namge Zamba Loye Jebra Jetawa Chechun Tomon Tepai Tsuki Kolo Kodozo. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the fourth of a series of 6 Bardo teachings by Lama Lodu Rinpoche. Rinpoche received this empowerment and teaching transmission directly from the previous Kapje Kalu Rinpoche, His Holiness Palden Rangjung Tunkyap. And Rinpoche has been teaching in the West all across the world since 1976, actually before that, and wrote the book Bardo Teachings, The Way of Death and Rebirth. And this book is available via Amazon, Shambhala Books, and many places. All of these teachings are available at absolutely no cost, and so there is no tuition, and everyone who is serious about learning is urged to attend these teachings. If you are interested and motivated and wish to support the KDK Dharma Center with its many necessary expenses, you are more than welcome to make a contribution at the PayPal link that's on the KDK flyer on the kdk.org homepage. And donations of any amount are very helpful to maintain the KDK San Francisco Dharma Center, the retreat land, and you can also write a memo to dedicate for any particular purpose. So today, Rinpoche is scheduled to give teachings on the Bardo of Dharmata. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat and I will relay them to Rinpoche. And thank you. That's it. So Rinpoche, go ahead. Thank you.
So Lama Lodu Rinpoche Namasum. Dada Simjendam Loju Lower Junior Lodu so Lamdu Lower Junior Lodu Lamdu was over Junior. Tonight is also Junior Lodu so Lama Lodu Rinpoche Namasum. Dada Simjendam Loju Lower Junior Lodu so Lamdu Lower Junior Lodu Lamdu was over Junior Lodu. Tonight is also Junior Lodu so Lama Lodu Rinpoche Namasum. Some Jelam Jello, choose a lower genial of those Jelam Dundor, genial of those or Lamtrubas or genial of those or Truna issues or genial of those. Toberan, your door, genial of those or division, you remember genial of those or attend a tabak about genial of those. Treasure tend on them or genial of those or 2 year made for a genial of those. Kandai Jojo Dongi Jigdena and Dizzy Lomorjuba Khan, so I think there is a Bechi Chavez. Nyamba the Vadam de Namo Ariatama, Ketaluda, the Jinke, Chavunta, Ni, Canam. Doa Gingi Dagi Jizamba, Tom J. Do Dagi, Langada Besan Janamji. Lana Mebayanda Porzo, Sondi, Govanjin, Tobaja, Echetu. Tambeju some somebody you and Yambu to be out of the somebody you are called somebody chune. Bardogi and Bardo Samichu Bardogi Rinpoche 2 you been Nancy so 3 get a Bardo Naba Chuni Party Samichus and Sambaju Senechan. The Ajisim Jetabje and Dungal attended there were Tamchi Gambo about Tovel Mendunachi to get out of a sort of December issue. So, yes, actually, Lama Ching says this is a 5th one. I think this is almost 4th. It's not the 4th. I think the counting the part we have Kichi Pardo is 1. Milam Pardo is 2, something Pardo is 3, and then Chige Pardo is 4, and that's today is Chuni Pardo is 5th, and like that. So, but I think we cover for Kichi Pardo the 3 Pardo together, and then the second one we have Chige Pardo, and so on. So now is the last we're talking about among these, each have the kind of opportunity, like Kichi Pardo have divided in the 3 categories. There's, so from the beginning to born to until dying, you can use it your opportunity to practice Dharma, many different ways. Excellent people renounce completely go retreat practice until getting enlightenment. Mediocre try to as much possible renounce and practicing more than distracting less. And then mediocre people practice little Dharma, the more distracted. So those are different way to use it, their opportunity. Of course, then including Dim Pardos also, same things that nighttime you concentrated, focus, and then you are concentrated and following the Dim, and you recognizing Dim is also one way one can able to be very helpful and very powerful actually at the time of the death. And again, this is a Milam Pardo, Dim Pardos, how much you can use it in the dream, and then that much you can use in the Pardo. But then as much you use it in the lifetime, waking time, mindful, positive mind, do good things, then dim Pardo become more clear and detailed and last longer. You can able to control the dim. And when you dim is controlled very precisely, in the Bardo, you can easily control that way. So those are the one affecting another. Of course, then the samadhi Bardo is a kind, depending how much you stable your mind, peace and calm. And then people have more go beyond peace and mind, but go to inside on true nature of the mind. So that depending how much your category, your experience, advance or your meditation practice will be helping you also in the Bardo. And there's a kind of creation stage practitioner or the completing stage practitioner, that different way to liberate that also. So then in the dying Bardo is kind of, that is a kind of between when it start, you are going to be a start, you get sick, and then that sickness lead you to die. So between of the start to sickness until you die, and in between is the Bardo, we call it, in the middle. So there's so many opportunity, as we talked yesterday, last and before a few weeks ago. So that was kind of course, have to do with the 5 aggregate. 5 aggregate is very important because that is that we live this lifetime clinging to the 5 aggregate, and then how the 5 aggregate implement positive and negative also. And so that is very important. So when, aware of the dissolving of those 5 different aggregate to different states, there's opportunity. You can recognize 5 aggregate, each aggregate, our normal life. Now aggregate is like feeling aggregate, so that is the kind of feeling aggregate, summoning the feeling, pleasant, unpleasant, and so on. And so that is kind of bring you to attachment, detachment. Aversions, you don't like. You like your attachment. So both is not good. If you don't have attached, you do not have resisted, but you ignore on them. That's also ignorant, stupidity. You attach the desire. You kind of rejected it. That is anger. So 3 poison is there with that. That will lead you to samsara and suffering. But samsara level, this aggregate is kind of source of the samsara. But while you are samsara, engaging samsaric activity, but that's actual Buddha is within that. That form aggregate is the Buddha Bharokana, But the one you do not recognize, and you are confused by the aggregate, turn your mind outward. And then you get suffering and pain continually. And also since beginning less, we have of suffer. But you turn in your mind, that we can see the nature of that aggregate, form aggregate is Buddha Bharokana. So when you get used to be on your practice, get used to be some Vajrayana related practice, that is kind of will be way you recognizing when dissolving that you are actually realizing Buddha Bharokana. So that meaning you will be liberating right there. You not need to further more Bardo. But it's very difficult to get recognition. You need lots of custom-made, familiarize with kind, compassion, and loving kindness, and such kind of have the pure appearance, and it has kind of very much open your heart to Vajrayana practice, Vajrayana deities and mantra, and then you're keeping Samaya mantra and deities, and these all can be contribute to recognize that. But even you're not recognizing that, that aggregate is dissolving there, So that moment is there. So that is the word is involved there, So that similar, that aggregate would have wisdom. That wisdom is actually, we are, completely obscure because of our anger. the anger is completely controlling and completely blank of this mirror-like wisdom. That wisdom is very important part. But again, we are angerous, we uncontrol the anger take over, then we are causing to again lots of suffering, pain. The moment when you anger, you experience not good, you're feeling not good. And continually this will bring the lots of more problem, trouble. So that anger is actually essence, is mirror-like wisdom. It's essence of the mirror-like wisdom, but that wisdom is obscure through our anger. And anger is so huge, so difficult, and that make the not able to manifestating the mirror-like wisdom. If you have the custom-made lifetime, creation stage, completing stage, more like this kind of creation stage, visualizing deities. If you have the visualizing deities, then essence of the deity is transparent, empty, not really in any kind of tangible. So if you cultivate it, visualize deities like that, so this will be overcoming your normal anger and transform these mirror-like wisdoms. So this wisdom is basically always there. When we have anger, that means we do have mirror-like wisdom. That wisdom is important remedy for the anger to subside. But we have the mirror-like wisdom has little accumulated, maybe no accumulation. Wisdom is so accumulated because every concern, constantly, every moment we are accumulating the anger and pile up there. Anger is available anytime, every moment, everything's cause you. But the mirror-like wisdom is completely obscure and deep down, that not visible, not ready, you can able to see. So that makes the samsara begin, sufferings begin. So that is again, that is the what wisdom, contribute, but you need to recognize. So when you're dissolving those things, this wisdom can helping to you that you have the instruction lifetime and the practicing lifetime. So that time you immediately remember and recall quicker. And then also very effective, because at that time you need it, your suffering and pain confused. And the moment you need some helping. So that kind of, if you need it, then you are not, custom-made, familiarize yourself lifetime. Then this, even you need it, you don't know what kind of remedy you need there. So there will be go through, but you're not recognizing that. But you have familiarized, and in lifetime you do something, this can be really make you to wake up, and you will stop the Bardo right there. You're liberating, no more to go, samsara. So that's the opportunity, So this is, we're talking the elements, this case kind of, earth elements. So earth elements kind of is in a kind of subtle level, kind of form, the kind of forming everything form. Well, place to live, staying, you need some kind of basic things. So that's the earth. But this is a kind of, actually essence of that is the female Buddha. Onchu Maui ko Chui Chugi, I think Chugi, and the Dharmashara. So that's kind of female deities with the concept of the Buddha Vajrayanas. So that's the element of the earth. So each have their kind of a remedy to overcome this difficulty time, but you need to be, basically, you have constantly practiced that lifetime, so that's what helping. But even you have in this case, you have tantric deities initiation. So that case, your teacher introduce you and bless you, and you do not have any samaya breaking with the teacher and the deities, then this will be recall you more easily, very effective and helpful. And this is necessary to samaya to remodel or keep samaya to pure. That's very important because of that reason. It doesn't mean to any way samaya is sick for something. Samaya is for this kind of purpose, this kind of reasons. So these are the, each aggregate has such different way go. And that is the kind of form aggregate, then feeling aggregate, and then perception aggregate, and then mental formation aggregate, then consciousness aggregate. So each this aggregate related with each have the 5 set its own. And the form aggregate have 5 set, as last time we described detail that. But I didn't go through the different deities with too many information. But these are what each have the deities, each have the wisdom, is the element. So this kind of and dissolving one another, then again indicate outside with different kind of functionings. And also inside, also that outside sign visible for everyone around, the people who die. They can see what stage that person, if you have familiar to Bardo teaching, then you can see, oh, that's I heard, this is happening now. So you can see, look at the person and also see how behave, what kind, in the many ways that they indicated that, so that you can see the dissolving each element, each aggregate with one of the other. And so these aggregate external sign, but internally, first one is kind of mirage-like sign inside within the dead person himself can experience that. Outside people doesn't experience that. So what they experience was like mirage. Mirage meaning some kind of special things not there but appear by the conditions. So normally that is appear. Mirage is kind of when it's sandy, mellow, sandy, and then the sun shine very hot, bright sun shining on the sand. And then this the heat of the sun and the sand, they contribute. There's coming, it's like water. Part where it look like some water there, So that we call mirage. So that is first experience inside the dead person himself. And then second, there's the dead person experience is like smoke, It's smoke like, not like the big fire smoke, but this case smoke like in the house, you burn the incense. So incense have some kind of smoke go around the room. It's kind of laying around. If you close the window, no wind, that they are kind of forming some special way. You can just smoke like that. That kind of experience that person can experiencing that, So when you experience each of the experience, the person who dying know this is kind of hallucinating by your own mind and different kind of dissolving stage. So inner experience, one experience, one can see, feel that. And external sign is only the outside people can see. And so these are the second inner sign. And third inner sign is like, like the look, the is the like we call it high fly, sometime nighttime, some in India, some hot weather, climb at a place, you can see nighttime dark. You can see many insect flying, and that especially that insect have kind of light carrying on with them. So there are many of them. So there's so much sparkling that insect flying there. So that is inside the dead people experience. And sometimes they say also, you a bundle of the rice stalk, dry rice stalk, and set the fire, you spinning around, and how look like that, kind of look like ring, fire ring, like that also you experience. This is same in experience, but different experience. Same kind of stage, but different experience. And sometimes also they say they kind of, dry log wood, you set the fire, and fire is completely, set there and begin burning there. And then you hit the log and the rock, and sparkle coming all over. How look that? So similar you experience inside the dead persons. And that is kind of third ones, such like that. So this case kind of form aggregate, feeling aggregate, the perception aggregate, that thought ones. So now it's kind of mental formation aggregate is when dissolved, inner sign is the kind of a sign that you can see the light battle lamp. So the battle lamp is the kind of, if you lead the battle lamp where it's a very windy place, and possible is battle lamp is not still. Wind blow, the flame move around different direction. So could be strong wind can completely extinguish the fire. But that's not talking about that. But this battle lamp like is kind of, when you lead the battle lamp, there's no wind, or you have protected by some kind around the battle lamp, which is not affected for outside wind. So that battle lamp become constantly giving the light, and also the very stable flame is very stable, constant giving light. So that is the kind of fourth inner sign, and that dead person can experience that, So that is the kind for aggregate, form, feeling, perception, mental formations. So I didn't go through because each one I paused on, I'm explaining a little bit. The rest of them is similar, as one is the Buddha's Vajrayana, second is Buddha Ratnasambhava, third is Buddha Amitabha, and then fourth is Buddha Amoghasiddhi. So that Buddha, and then also the earth, fire, and earth, water, fire, wind. So this kind of four element dissolving like that. But the last one is the element consciousness aggregate. So that is kind of more subtle level, and that's the last we describe as the these consciousness is kind of aggregate of the consciousness. So everything dissolved into consciousness. That means consciousness is kind of not visible, the form. It is kind of is consciousness, actually basic of the everything negative samsara, but at the same time not really visible there. And so that is a consciousness, is the Buddha Akshobhaya Buddha, actually, a consciousness itself. But now here, when dissolve this consciousness into consciousness, that is kind of pause. Person will be stop the external breathings. So it's meaning externally you not see the breathings of that person. So generally everybody give up, he's dead now, and doctors nurse also give up, they think he's dead. But now actually he's not dead yet. He's just kind of stopping breathing because all this dysfunctioning and all these five aggregate, five elements, five different kind of emotion, all these things make and now it's kind of externally, you cannot see his breathing. He stopped the breathing. The internally, he's breathing still. That breathing is not able to visible by ordinary beings, but the dead person himself can see this. And so, as we described last time already, this. So that's kind of beginning that we have the human beings that is have in the forehead. Normally, we have human beings have 77,000 charna our body, according to Chakrasambhara Tantric. But this kind of so detailed. So now here talking that some of the chakra kind of combined in the forehead, that's kind of knot in the kind of weak there, and chakras. And then that chakra is kind of where abiding our red bindu, or bodhicitta we also call. So that is kind of abiding there, because due to our life-sustaining wind is there also, because of the kind of the chakra of the knot holding wind there, and then the wind make the bindu be, remain there, residing there, So this white bindu can pervading all the white cell from our body, functioning as normal. So due to this, all the different aggregated dissolve, then this kind of chakra of knot is become untied. And then that will be make the losing our kind of life-sustaining wind is not anymore holding up there. And the life-sustaining wind bring down our heart. So this white chakra bindu or bodhicitta descend down. So while you're descending down, this white bodhicitta has so many things happening there, both dead peoples. So when descending down this white bodhicitta, we call nawa, So kind of this is called, empty, we call, or appearing empty, or just empty. We experience some kind of sense of the emptiness there. So therefore they call it empty, So because this, due to this bindu and bodhicitta descend down, and then the wind is also kind of bring down our heart, and they descend down, that moment completely, there's all this desire, affliction, emotion are completely extinguished, kind of disappear. Nothing can you have any desire or attachment, cravings. So truly it's all and disappear your attachments. So this case that you are experience or you have the achieving the state of the Vajrasattva. So which is essence of all the Buddha's pure stainless body there. So this case that kind of meditator is a very good experience and say can more practice, or you have the teaching, some kind of sense of the understanding there. So that time, being what you experience, recall back every memory of your teaching and the practice. It's very, very much helpful for you, with transcended everything. So that is the kind of experience, So this case that, you have opportunity to liberate it yourself. If you recognize you're able to bring this into your experience, realization become achieving the state of the enlightenment of the all Buddha's body, Vajrasattva, as we know, Vajrasattva. So that is what you're achieving, is accomplished. So same time we call nawa, meaning that nawa is kind of opulent actually. So there's opulent become total emptiness. This called the post emptiness. This is the post emptiness you experience in this, you see. So that time that is red bindu go down to your heart, I think pretty much I'm repeating as last time, but I need to make sure this. Then you have questioning, I'll maybe elaborate more. So this case, this bindu come down to always down slowly. Just see this case with also another term called sustaining duration of life. This bindu is the duration of lifetime. So this bindu is last until you die. All life with you. This will be lots of helping you and normal activity. Where there's any emotion, affliction, this will be the kind of way of functioning activity properly. And so this is happening, but this all lifetime. They develop in lifetime, but also last lifetime. So that's called, this bindu is sustaining until your lifetime, this bindu. You see. So that's bindu go down now. So this will be where in our heart chakra, where we call forever lasting bindu, bodhicitta, lasting forever. So that means that because the deathless, birthless, this is something there without condition. But karmically, so this is in the heart, located in the heart center. But there's every thought manifesting from there. This can be get enlightenment or get in samsara, suffering until you go to hell or abhiram, high realm. So this, bindu is kind of manifesting, but it's a kind of that never destroy, never decay, never be lost. That's always there. Very tiny, it's not visible. It is the essence of the wind and bindu inseparable conjunction or union. So that isn't located in the heart, but this weight bindu come from your forehead, that's come down slowly and cover that top of that forever lasting bindu there, So that is kind of all the experience that you have empty, and also that, essential Buddha Vajrasattva, also distinguishing all kind of desire that you have is completely disappear, So that's happening there. And so now after that, the next one is we call from our navel, there's a kind of red bodhicitta, which is the red cell. All the body's blood and anything's red come from that source of our navel. That's kind of called a red bindu or red bodhicittas, And so, and that is also kind of from our mother and obtained from our mother. It's the way it's obtained from our father. That's the kind of text say. So this is I'm located our navel, but the functioning is all the red cell, in the body. And so this is kind of in the navel, due to everything disconnected state by state, and that in a navel chakra, normally the navel chakra is kind of holding the air with the life-sustaining wind as well. And so that is kind of become untied chakra, and wind will be kind of moved from there, and beginning the red bindu is ascending up, moving up. So that moment, and then you have a kind of completely the one of the emotion distinguished there. No more that emotion. When emotion is distinguished, then that means you're no emotion there, because one emotion condition put other emotion, So that case, emotion completely remove one of them, that means they're no more anymore. So that case that, you experience called Tongpa Shintu Tongpa, I think so they call very emptiness, which means kind of your emptiness experience is more deeper than above before. And you can some experience of emptiness. And at the same time, these bindus move up now. So in that case, you do not have any kind of, emotions that affected anything. So you come up. And also this time you experience this very empty. But this case, your essence of the Buddha Amitabha, which is an embodiment of all Buddha's speech. So you are achieving or attaining state of Buddha Amitabha if you are constantly sustaining your practice continually and you're recognizing, you're familiar with that, this will be liberating yourself, attained state of the Buddha Amitabha. So that is another opportunity there. And so the bindu is coming up. Finally, the bindu will join to the cover the top cover above and bottom coming the beneath. And it pretty much that is for everlasting bindu is kind of covered by that. And also that moment, so you have experienced emptiness and you have realization of that. And so you have different kind of experience there. So you have opportunity there, also liberation too. So that case, you have now two different kind of emptiness and Buddha's body and his speech. Vajrasattva was Amitabha there. But now being you have two bindus cover, red and white bindu cover the in the heart center, the for everlasting bindu, which bodhicitta, and then that moment is kind of caused the for everlasting bindu can move from out. So that case, actually inner breathing is stopped right there. So that case, then finally you completely dead. So this happening between, if you have power practice and come to make power, most people have familiar that of my student. Some people may not know, but anyway, so that power practice is one very important, effective. That is concerned the time you have on time, dead people is kind of their time, and the Lama also the right there to be, and the Lama have to be quite compassionate, quite devotions. And at that possibility, they have realization of the nature of the mind. If not, have the great visualizations. So these all conditions necessary. The Lama just come for doing that because somebody asked to do it and I'm doing it. And that will not help too much. And also Lama have to, in this case, Lama have to be very careful because if you don't do good job there, you will go to hell realm, you leading the dead people to hell realm elsewhere also. So due to this not happening to you, you have to have very compassion to the dead person. In general, all sentient being, and specifically you're working for this dead person to liberate, you have sincere compassion and kindness to that person. Then you have to have your lineage, where you come from, whatever practice you do lifetime. You have sincere devotions, faith, and trust. And then you trust your practice, what you practice in your idam. And trust your Vajrayana practice, especially for what you're doing. You do have confidence. So this all condition can be those kind of lamas qualifying to do this practice for the dead person and very helpful for the dead persons. In this case, the dead person is dead. He's also mentally very, very clear what you're doing it. You're visualizing wrong, your motivation wrong. This makes him wrong views. He thinks you're cheating him, deceiving him. So that makes his wrong views. That meaning you get the karma to go you to hell. And then he make wrong views. He will go along wrong. but you lead him to hell realm. So therefore, if you are not qualifying, you are not really, you know that you're competent, you are not, you have no competence for this, better not to do it, but you do decide mantra, do other prayer, and do other things. This will be very helpful and very helpful for him. But attempting the poor practice will be very difficult. So it is very careful in this case. The practice of poor is when you dissolving stage, you can chanting prayer, name of the mantra, Buddha's bodhisattvas, and then try to do you taking and sending and generating, cultivate compassion and devotion. Keep doing yourself that. And then the dying person can be able to be there because that bring his hope, bring that he can get protection. He can see the protection there. So he'll be stay there that he could be recognizing by those different dissolving stage. And even he is liberated, but you do for will be very beneficial anyways, in that case. But you have to qualify yourself. So especially that moment he's leave the consciousness from your body, that moment you do power is very, very effective. Really no question there. But if you qualify, the power practice is very important there. So this case now, during this time where you practice power, to request to Lama to come to do you, or you do yourself. And some of your friend who, the friend who practice together, you're close to, they can do the prayer, read it. Then you listen to them. And you can do yourself also. If you are poor practice lifetime, very good expert, you can do yourself too. But your friend, who Dharma friend, they not do prayer for you, but read the prayer for him. He can follow what you say. That way is also another contribution, helpful there too. So you need to have same Dharma teacher, same Dharma practice. You're very close, no have samaya breaking between Vajra brother or sister. That kind of people do, it'd be very helpful. So otherwise, again, another problem can be, so it's very good to the condition necessary there. So anyway, that's kind of during this period of time, power is effective, very beneficial if you do. And so next, the bindu is kind of covered, the white, the red bindu is covered, and the undestructible bindu, forever undestructible bindu heart. When you cover it, what you experience is kind of completely blank, very dark. You not see nothing, just dark. You cannot stretch your hand, not know where it's touching. So dark, like no sun, no moon, no stars. Then really dark nighttime. So similar experience get become after that. So that moment, normally consciousness depart from you, the dead person, and that consciousness is carrying on to next life and or hell and or pure land or enlightenment. Also, this whole forever undestructible this bindu, because this is always with you, whether you're samsara or you're nirvana, you're a bodhisattva, or you're hell realm, hungry ghost, animal realm, human realm. So your lamas, your disciple, you're just a practitioner, doesn't matter. That is forever with you. Only the tendency, someone have less negative karma, more, helpful, that is more visible, more competent on that. And then you don't have the familiarity and teaching or practice, and then that's make it even don't know you have that. So that is called, normally in Mahayana level called Buddha nature, but in the Vajrayana term, this is different. For everlasting bindu they call. So this case is departing. So now is first like very dark, blank, nothing you can see. That kind we call Chimputongpa, meaning so that's kind of called Chimputongpa, meaning kind of great emptiness. So you blank sometimes, that nothing subject, object there, what you experience in darkness there. That's called great emptiness. So Nawa, Chepa, Topa, so the Nawa is empty, Chepa is great, very empty, and but now in Topa is kind of great empty, no? So there's three empty now experience. So now next, up to that, what happened is that beginning of that darkness, it's just like night break, slowly light began. Sometimes you can see that before your dark break, what happened is way down there behind the mountain have sun kind of picking up the mountain, but towards the sun shading in the sky become bright. The brightness of sky make the world is a little bit things are more clear, but not really see things, but it's clear a little bit. And that kind of beginning out of the darkness becomes slowly like night breaking and like dawn. And then slowly became this kind of completely sun peak over the mountain, sun light bright and shining to the whole world, little clear. So that case that is you are clear light of your own Buddha nature called clear light now. Yourself meaning clear light. Yourself meaning light. Self meaning clear light. So that clear light is within you all the time. But now it's kind of that process make this no matter whom you have experienced the clear light. But most of them lifetime doesn't bother by the acknowledging this awareness. So it come by, but not big deal. You're dead, you're gone. You're not aware that. That's it. That will not function and this will not value for you. People like that. It is there, but that is truly, clear light, true nature of your mind. But then someone who have really practicing good, completing stage, like Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, you do have lifetime when you get instruction, little bit you have experience, you do little bit there, little bit here and there. So that time, lifetime what you practice is it is like it is you kind of imitate that. Actual one is not that, but lifetime we making is you imitating or you kind of resemble that. Yes. But it's very effective now. So that we resemble a lifetime is called sun like clear light. This is clear light, but it's sun. Sun is not like model, Sun is part of model, but not really that model. And then actually this, at the time of the death you experience, that is a model like clear light. So my verse, the Pui verse we call, my verse, meaning model, clear light of the model, light of sun. So this lifetime, sun like clear light, what you example in practice, and then now actually spontaneously is kind of appear or this kind of primordial clear light is where it's there forever there, but now it's kind of appear that clear light recognize resemble a lifetime, so they merge into one, the long lost model. Meet the sun, the middle of the many crowd, they'll very joyfully merge them and recognize each other. Similar like that, originally your Buddha nature, the Buddha nature that what you lifetime practice can join into one. So that case, meditate for some years, stay like this body, not rotting, just sit in meditation position. Sometimes 7 days, 49 days, 7 days, and the kind of uncertainty of how long they stay. Sometimes 3 days most likely, what I experience, I see 3 days, 4, 5 days, I see they last, Kalur Rinpoche last, he meditate 5 days. And some people say 3 days. And so that's different time, different lamas, great master, they meditate that. So this is not certainty how long, but normally they meditate, so that is definitely Vajrayana practitioner have to careful, whoever helping to dying person, don't disposal immediately, make sure that he is overcome his meditations. So there's some time that he sat there for a long time. So what the indication that he's meditating and not meditating is that he's very lifelike. He look like he's very light, more than his face is shining, radiating, ready to speaking to you. So he's normally even not that much, more bright, shining, radiating. So you can see that his body in very state. And so that is indicated he's in meditation. He's meditating there. But if somebody make up this, kind of set that way, so that maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say. But that person, you can help it. And people who are around him, and that if you disturb him to meditation, that very bad karma, you stopping him to get enlightenment, that means you may not have enlightened anymore, because that will be consequent for you. But you can see which way you can help to meditate. So maybe you can sit. Sometimes they indicate you to can sit a little bit this way, it's a position to help. After that, don't touch them. You leave him alone. And then he doesn't need help either. So before that, he go to merit. Sometimes they position, sometimes they, some great masters, sometimes they will bring their kind of monk dress and put everything, and they set meditation, they will say, you go now. So they doing that. The person come back, he's gone. So that sometimes also Tibet happening too. And sometimes you need to help, because depending, some people dying for it, depending reason, physically very hard to him to adjust himself. And sometimes he's a kind of weak, but he's not that painful, in a very clear, clean. So that case, he can adjust himself too. So this is depending whoever taking care of the person, you have to carefully help him. This will be great merit for you. You have lots of gaining realization, experience, lifetime. So that is what I experienced, and I saw and heard these things. And so that is the kind of meditator way to go, But ordinary people, maybe you're not meditated. Even you're not meditated, what happens is like after you stop your breathing, inner breathing, depart your forever lasting window, what happens is that you become unconscious. No five consciousness function anymore. You completely stop. You blank, just like you drink too much. You just laying down there, you not notice what's going on there. Until the alcohol is let go, you're free you. Up until then, you are not aware of things. You sleep deep there. So similar like that, you up to death, you will not know. But the last 3.5 days, last them to unconscious like that. They do not have the aware where he is, what happening. So that is any dead people can have experienced that once. So this is a kind of ordinary people that become unconsciousness. Some have experienced meditation they can do. Even they have very good calm abiding practice can meditate also. But I don't know how far they can liberate it or not. But it's very peacefully gone and remain peaceful and meditate too. But then if people have no meditation experience at all, they will be unconsciousness, meaning that no aware, as I'm saying already. So that is the 3.5 days. So Tibetan make the big deal big deal. In our country also, I saw that doing this 3.5 days, the family make the big deal. They do like, the night, whole night they're practicing and then reading and the Bardo total. And this kind of, they practice total, and then they recite mantra. And the early morning they do sadhana or amitava or for 100 days sadhana. And so they all kind of practicing, And so that heart, they say the 3.5 days, he was remembering, the dead people are remembering. He is unconsciousness, but gain consciousness now. So that case, he died 3.5 days, he's dead, but not aware of anything. He don't know his life is dying or he's where he is. He's completely absent of the consciousness. But 3.5 days, then you gain the consciousness, awareness. So when you gain the awareness, that's coming, we call reborn next Bardo. So he was dead, now reborn. Now reborn is how he reborn is, in this case, he born miraculously. Because he had no parents. He just aware that he's, that case, he will wake up. Then the stranger thing for him is lifetime he's blank, he's not talking, not seeing, not functioning, organs, feet, and hand, all these things. But at that moment he wake up, suddenly he can see things. Suddenly he can speak. Suddenly he can move his arm. So everything is just kind of a normal wake up. Then he was kind of, how sick he was, but certainly he was not sick now anymore, and light, because he has no body now. So therefore, he light. The first place he will be have, up to that is he will be had. In this case, we go another Bardo, so called Bardo of Dharmata, So then he start to, that sculptures mention how he wake up from there, how he knows. Of course, normally I have some problem. First time I go to person who have been very kind to me, helpful to me. Always they are helpful to me when I need. That person I'll be go. Then wake up, first I think of him or her, because she was the one helping, responding me, and do for me. So that's the reason I go. If my wife, my husband, my children, whoever I have trust, I get help. So I kind of feeling strange. And then also I want to notify, I want to tell them. And so what are my situations? But the moment what he's thinking, he was there with that person. He doesn't need to go through drawer. He will go instantly when he thinks he's there. So that is one thing he know that he's different than lifetime. So now he didn't know he had no body, but he thinks he's still same body. But he's reborn in the Bardo now. He's a kind of ikilu, in his mental body, So what happened is the person who he loved, he asked him, giving his story, first place, he said, no, strange, this happening. I was there, suddenly I'm here. So I can see, I can think, I have function in my organ. Used to, I don't. So whatever disabled, now very able. So then he kind of excited to telling these things to my person who I love, but the person will ignore me because he does not see me. He does not hearing me. The person who trusts, who's my friend or wife or husband or whatever. So I tried excited to say things, what happened to me, and that person will ignore me. And then that case, I think, he doesn't like me now. Why he doesn't like? Because I'm telling what happened to me. He should be helping me to see what was this. And so that was kind of indicating him at the beginning that he's something wrong with him, something strange. And then again, he said the person already know he's dead now. The person, live person, know he's dead. Then he can see he's crying and calling his name. I love you. I care you. You love me now. So something like that. So that case, the dead person say, I'm here. I'm talking to you. But that live person doesn't hear him, doesn't see. And sometimes he's run away, walk away. And especially, he just stabbed him. Just push him. So that makes him upset because he doesn't like me now. Even he ignored me. He doesn't want to pay attention to me. So that person, lots of suffering and pain by this, in the meantime. So that's where he learned. Then, of course, then certainly, then time go by, then he has called Chuim Bardo. So he have a kind of bewildering by the Dharmata Bardo, because this is Bardo, because he's a nobody, the mental body. So it's a similar like deities we practice now. When you practice lifetime your deity's body, we have to visualize deity's body as a transparent, not tangible, not like kind of material there, but it is appear to the rainbow. Is completely detailed, but you cannot grab the whole. It's like rainbow, transparent bodies. And the essence of emptiness yet appear form of the deities. The appear form of the deities yet emptiness. As we call Zungju, which means union of the appearance and emptiness. That's to visualize deities right now, very important. Not thinking Chenrezig, I'm solid Chenrezig. I really Chenrezig. Not good there. We have to visualize Chenrezig, but Chenrezig is not really. It is like appearance like rainbow. Then Chenrezig essence of emptiness, not tangible. But again, the emptiness and the appearance, perfect compassion, the form of Chenrezig, our Lord Shora. So we visualize that way, then Bardo is more effective easily because lifetime you practice like that. Your lifetime practice Chenrezig is appears, empty, appear. But inseparable emptiness appearance, empty and emptiness, conjunction, union we call also. So what the union is, the empty and appearance union. So that is the what we practice lifetime. So that exactly, Bardo, our mental body is very effective to visualize the deities because our mind is, no body is a mental body. So we can visualize Chenrezig become real Chenrezig. Appeared I'm Chenrezig because that's what I cultivated. But still I'm not tangible appearance. But essence of that appearance is emptiness. The Bardo easily adopted that. So dim Bardo and meditation Bardo can help you, the Bardo, because Bardo is your similar meditation practice and the dim Bardo practice, The contribute the virtues and purity, accumulation, merit, wisdom, contribute that wisdom, the Samadhi Bardo and dim Bardo become more clear, very detailed, competent. And that's competential, very competent task, make the Bardo become very perfect and pure. Then it's easy to liberate yourself in the Bardo. Because Bardo is you're mentally 9 times more intelligent in the 9 times than normal. So that means you're very, very smart, somewhat we say. your awareness can aware very detailed, very subtle, that you can able to bring concentration that is become so perfect and pure. So these kind of visualization, beginning you have to have bodhicitta. Before bodhicitta, you need to refuge. Refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sanghas. Buddha is destination. Dharma is the path walking. Sangha is when we are companion and the path, any stranger, risk, difficulty. Sangha is kind of protect us, providing us path to clean and clear without hindrance. So this is the very important to take refuge Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and very competent and trust your devotion enough to surrounding trust and confidence. Then you bodhicitta to generate it. This practice become liberate each and every sentient being in the samsara to perfect enlightenment by this practice. So this is the bodhicitta that you lifetime you can cultivate it, and the bardo you will easily, because you're mentally very easily. But again, you have to make customated, make sure your mind direct on that. In the bardo, you only the directing your mind on, mind will take care of things there, So the mind is more kind of, aware, destination and profoundness of this practice, So bodhicitta, refuge, bodhicitta is very important. Otherwise, the devotion to three jewels and bodhicitta, compassion to other sentient beings, is very important tool, condition. And then actual practice, have to practice, make sure not solid, everything empty sound, mantra sound, but empty sound. Poem is poem, but empty form. Everything's appear, yet empty. Empty, yet appear. Appear perfect and precise. So the land is pure land, being is pure beings, overseeing everything not real. Empty, not manifested, appearing as the perfect pure land. So then, this case, you don't have to go nowhere. You're liberating there. Pure land doesn't mean you have to go somewhere. And the pure land is you make pure. You are no need to go nowhere. Where you are, you can perfectly enlightenment. That's pure land, pure being there. So the bardo is very much strong. So that is the effective, and helpful. So this will be leading to, from now on, counting up until 10, they have different kind of deities appearance. Of course, first you have to go to lots of things there, back and forth. And things are you have to learn your bardo sometime. But depending, some being their custom-made, their practice, devotion, faith, and compassion, uplift you there. You stop your bardo, you liberate there, But then everyone can be not the same. Then some people may be continually, then you will have lots of kind of appearance. So you're upsetting emotion. And now one thing you're losing now you can see your mental body, you're not physical, but your mental body. Lifetime is mind, is kind of overseeing and controlling everything. But body dying, mind not dying. Mind continually, the mind is a 9 more awareness, smart, aware things than normal life, you see. So that meaning no more. So now what happened is you can see lifetime, I saved so much money. I have so much money bank. I have so many houses, so many cars, so many family. I developed this. I created this. I cannot take none of them. No money, no family, nothing. I live alone. But at the same time, my mental body can see that somebody misusing my money. and misusing my house. A lifetime you give it already. Make offering, give things, people, my friend, my son, my daughter, so give, then you try to not attach. You give already, that's it. Let go. Now you give, you're free. Maybe mentally you make offering to Buddha and Bodhisattva and accumulate merit. And then also you're dedicated, you're dead seed. I'm dying, but I'm dying for all sentient beings. I wished all beings a long life, good health. Short life, unhealthy, I open my unhealthy, my death. I'm dying for all sentient beings. I suffer and pain for all sentient beings. Everything I have, I giving generosity, giving offering to high enlightened beings, giving offering to when people need the generosity, and giving things, just let go. I'm just offer everything I give myself. I give my mentally or willingly. I give. I'm not attached now. Then in the Bardo is very free. Easily you go. Otherwise, if you are concerned with your money, concerned with your family, concerned with your building, concerned with your car, somebody misusing your car, somebody misusing your house, somebody taking money, misusing you, which you don't want to do this, and maybe someone who I don't want to have them, but they have this. And I don't want to have this money to them, this thing to them. Somebody taking me. Now they think, I think my things are, they just taking me, putting me down, I'm just suffering. So that's happening. So attachment is very important to detach. Now you have to slowly let go. Then that time more easy, you see. Right now you are attached here, attached there, then that means quite difficult for you in the Bardo. The Bardo you starting there, so lots of problems come, and of your bond is some lower ramp to suffer and painful because you attach and clinging. This doesn't help at all. You need the compassion and devotion. That's all you needed. Your own body, you say, how much you take care of your body? Hospital, warm, good food, good health, exercise, all these things that you try to protect your body, to secure your body, to healthy. But no more my body. Gone my body. So body is immediate with me all the time, co-emerging there. But now the body is gone. So none of things can come with me and let me. None, this calm me, torture me, let go everything is very important. You have to learn a lifetime course, and the Bardo will be very, very easily. Long as not clinging, it's better, always. So then they, up to this kind of back and forth, many things happening, So if you detach, then I think you are liberating easily. As I'm saying, if you dying, you wake up and unconsciously, you're not able to do it, meditation, but unconsciously, and wake up from unconsciously, suddenly say, oh, I'm dead, I'm dying, I'm Bardo, I'm going to do my Chinese practice. So I know I'm practicing morning early, my Chinese 6 o'clock. At that very time, I'll try to timing myself to Chinese practice as usual. And I can go to the refugee prayer. I can see very, very clear devotion. Clear, I can see perfect, pure color to the Buddha Dharma Sangha. My refuge is unusual. I'm completely surrounded. I just kind of secured by their blessing, their wisdom, their perfection, their purities. Their omniscience, their compassion, their ability is right. I'm underneath. And all sentient beings as well. So you have completely surrounded. So that is very wonderful way one can secure yourself, So that is a way. If you daily practice, we try to say practice and practice and practice. It doesn't mean make you to irritate, make you to difficult your life. But this will be helping when you are in the Bardo. So therefore, someone pure, good heart, no teaching, no dharma, and then practice themselves. they see and they kind, they loving, they compassion to you, say, please remembering your practice, do practice, So out of their compassion saying that, you see. So this will what happen is one time like this is perfectly helpful for you. So you can see how wonderful this was. Then morning you practicing the take refuge generating bodhicitta. Normally we do Vajrayana practice, always this very important. Sanje Chotan Sogi Chonamla Chanjo Badu Dani Kyapsuchi. See, that is the kind of refuge. Dagi Jinsu give Sunang Dola Pensu Sanjilu. This is a bodhicitta. So this we repeat 3 times repeatedly because you want to repeat. This is very important. Then visualizing Chenrezig. So we are reciting English and Tibetan. Even Tibetan, that time you can understanding everything clearly because you mentally know behind the cover everything, so he knows. So you mentally communicating rather than physically, verbally. So somebody read Tibetan, you're understanding. If Tibetan Lama reading total these things, they can understand this because that time your mind is not body there, But you don't, your language, the daily you practice your English, that's no problem. That's the life spending your life, their language. So that makes your mind so focused because your mind is this camp. Right now I need, you're really longing for this practice. Then that practice you timing make this, you can clearly what you say is you visualize yourself. And you recite mantra, your true Chenrezig Avalokiteshvaras. The old Buddha and Bodhisattvas. The session, that practice you do in the Bardo will be liberating yourself. You're merging with compassion of Avalokiteshvara because that time you mentally see the quality of the Chenrezig is pure and stainless compassion and wisdom emptiness that you can clearly you see, no question, you merge there because your life and you practice. So therefore now you don't doubt. So you merge when finish the mantra, your silent meditation, you can, how you have even lifetime here, there are difficulties, there are hardship to make total emptiness meditation, view emptiness. But that moment you can see truly the instruction come from your guru, your teacher, who you trust, love, and devotion. That's become truly there with you. You can stay in that stage. You liberate right there. See? So lifetime practice can, if you not liberate, become many things happen to you before you die. But now after the wake up from the unconsciousness, you have some giving chance there. So this daily practice habit make you, that very moment, that session will be stopped you on the next Bardo, you are liberating there. So this is the case, practice is very important. But make sure your bodhicitta and taking refuge in bodhicitta, important. Then actual practice is practicing viewing the total emptiness and appear as deities, perfectly pure. That's very important for one to be remembering. So this is the kind of time, Lama Ching, what time is it now?
It is 2:30.
So you want to have question answer there? You have any question there?
I have one from email. I can ask. Also, people can type into chat for me any questions they have, and I can read the email question right now.
Next, I will start, and it will take a long time to finish because of the deities. I have to explain them. So next week I can do that because my beginning we start will be today's, and I review last practice, and maybe they may be more clear for them. So question if they want, and I will be very happy to have question.
Okay, then people can type, and I have one question right now that I'll get right now.
Okay.
So this question is
Okay.
from Karma Girame,
Okay.
and he asks, in the Bardo Total via Karmalingpa and Bardo Teachings, the Buddha in the East is Vajrasattva. In other teachings, we find Akshobhya in this place. And he asks, why is this and how are they related / different?
Because this Tantric sadhana, he have to know first Buddha family. In Buddha family, there are 5 families. Vajra family, Pema family, Ratna family, Buddha family, and then so 5 family, Dorji Rik, Peme Rik, Rinchen Rik, Leki Rik. So that's kind of 5 family, So that's kind of Vajra family is Vajrasattva, Pema family is Amitabha, Ratna family is Ratna Sambhava, Vajra family is Amnogasiri. So like that, And then Buddha Bharatanas also, the 5 family, so Buddha family they call too. So these 5 family, depending in Tantric sadhana, for example, Kala Chakras is very complicated sadhanas. The Kala Chakra has the alternated, the Kala Chakra have lots of mandalas that each gate, 4 direction has gate, but in each gate have to go down the many gate to go out. So each gate have the Buddha family there. So each one, the Vajrasattva, and there's sometime, next time each will be Amitabha. And next time Amoghasiddhi, next time Buddha family. So these 5 family, whoever principle of the mandala is become East, And for example, our Lokiteshvara Thousandam Cherezi, was the Amitabha. And then also the south is Ratna family. And then west is Pema family. And north is Vajra family, something like that. So that is the kind of algorithm because Buddha Avalokiteshvara is the Pema family. Anything Pema family, always Amitabha is in front or in the crown of also Amitabha. And then such as like Vajrayogini, Bharatana is above. And also that in the gate in the east will be Bharatanas. So this is like this. So it kind of rotated different sadhana because here we also kind of logic is there. I am angry. So that doesn't mean I'm just angry. I have only the angry. I don't have other things. I do have angry because I have desire, because I have ignorance, because of the jealous, because of greed, because of stupid. I have this all, but meantime, this anger take me over, but behind the anger as all other emotions support me to get this anger, So therefore, that case, anger has become principle because it manifested vividly and clearly the anger. But when I'm desire, it doesn't mean only the desire. I support by anger too, and ignorance, jealous, and greed, and proud, all contribute, I get desire. So I don't have desire at all. That's meaning I don't have any of them. I don't have angry. That's meaning I don't have no other things. But I have angry only, but I don't have other. That's not true. Because always there, if you don't have the one contribute to other. It doesn't mean anger is kind of spontaneously without condition. Anger is with conditions. So therefore, anger is empty, not real, you see. So that's the reason anger is not real, Anger can be desire, anger can be anger, anger can be stupid, anger can be proud, anger can be jealous, and grief also. So this has a lot of way to communicate. So this is pipe with the family accordingly. That's why you go around, you see. I hope this will answer him question.
I think that goes very deep, maybe beyond very deep,
Okay.
the fifth point. So
Okay.
So now we have a bunch of questions. So
I don't mind. We have time. I can give time for that.
Okay. So the next question is by Peter Durgan, and he asks, what is the difference between the rebirth of liberated versus the rebirth of the unrealized?
Okay, so question I have to clarify. So what is rebirth, you say, right?
He's saying the difference between reborn, I think, of the liberated, like being reborn liberated versus being reborn without realization. I think that's his question.
Reborn is all sentient being reborn. So that's kind of, you understand what he's saying? I don't have to explain that. He's a reborn and realization.
Rebirth of the liberated, which is a little bit strange because if you're liberated, you could be born or reborn at will, like, according to. So I think that's his real question is, what is the difference between reborn if you are realized and not realized? I think that's his question.
Reborn is, you have to understanding reborn we have two different ways to explaining. So reborn, one is reborn by karmic force, meaning that I have karma, I'm reborn. That's meaning I'm not choice to born there. My karma forced me, I have no choice. So that is the, karma lead me. So when karma is full of the karma, I have accumulated my negative karma. And then I think so that my mind have no control where I'm going to go. Because that time, my mind cannot control. My karma will control me. For example, chicken feather, you very light and very windy place, let chicken feather go from your hand. You can look at that chicken feather where going. And then look at where going, and again, you are aware that chicken feather does not control, wind control his directions. So chicken feather is our consciousness. The wind is our karma. So karma is very powerful, like wind is how powerful chicken feather can wind blow. Anywhere wind goes. So that is very possible. I don't want to go to hell. I have karmically accumulated karma, then I have to go to hell. There's no choice. The wind will blow there. Karma will blow there. And I want to born in the human being. I don't have choice. I have to go to more poor, a beggar, very sorrow, painful, very sick person, very unwilling, lots of things, problem, confusion, disaster. That I'm born there. I don't want to, but my karma cannot allow me to choice, that karma showing me. Maybe he will be healthy, happy, helpful person, nice person. He's not healthy, wealthy, wealthy. Maybe he has no long life. Maybe he has a little sick. So these things are not his choice, his karma. Maybe he's very wealthy, and then he's a giving person. He's kind. Everybody loves him. Everybody kind to him. So this is also his not choice. Karma bring that. So this is a karma make the choice to born, where to born. That's the first question there. First, so choice of you reborn means that's why you reborn. Second reborn is that you are not too much bad karma, but you have lots of good karma. The good karma always bring you a happy, pleasant, peace place, very nice place. Otherwise, a pleasure, very happy, long life, good health, prosperity, everything. As you wish, in lifetime, you become so wonder, everybody respect you. So all these things come you because maybe you have not too much bad karma, and you have all good karma. But you have little good bad karma because you born human being, you are suffering, born, sick, dying, also old age, all this suffering you have. So this little karma is still there, but you have much temporarily. You have lots of good karma bring you this. This again, not your choice. It's karma choice because you karma you don't. So karma is important. We are causing the fact, but it's very important to, this case. Buddhists make more serious how important. But even non-Buddhist, that is important. Being non-Buddhist doesn't mean you're free from karma. You have to be karma to follow. For example, many people, non-Buddhists, they're not believing someone suffering painful. And if some non-Buddhists, they don't have painful, don't suffer too much, that they have good karma too. So karma is always, doesn't matter. You Buddhists only, not the responsible, only Buddhist people. And this all sentient being as well. But the second question is here, if you are through practicing and renunciation, you go to the training your mind very well in Buddhist, in devotion and compassion, and then you follow the different, stage of the meditation, creation stage, completing stage, you did accordingly, you reach first level bodhisattva. That means that you have choice your own to reborn. That meaning you could be, and you have karmically connected many beings there, you are dedicated, you have the bad relationship, good relationship, doesn't matter. Bodhisattva doesn't mean you very bad to you, bad to him, he doesn't like you. But even bad relationship, they will be liberated and help you. So good, of course, they will be also. So that case, one and pass away. Later we talk about that in the later last for Bardo. You can choice that case. Bodhisattva can choice because they are hook of the karma. Now, karmic obscure them also, post-level bodhisattva. But their practice will be dispel these obscurations. So always come, they dream at themselves. So when time comes, they can reborn as they are karmically were connected, and where is more beneficial, very, very helpful, they can choose that. The post-level bodhisattva can do it. Second level is more, and until 10 level, getting more and more and more beneficial. That first level have little limited benefit. And the second level more limited, then up to limitless become, So that is kind of choice of the bodhisattva. So reborn and choice is not an individual choice, a karmic choice. Therefore, we are always careful to karma to not to really bad person, good, especially bodhicitta, refuge is very important. Answer this?
Thank you. I think that is a very good, perfect answer. So the next question is from Deborah Jenke, and she asks, what happens to the everlasting bindu after the inner breathing stops?
So that depart one way. Yes, Scripture says depart. Depart meaning you're not anymore in physical body because physical body doesn't give the contribution and a support to him to stay there. So therefore you depart. So that means that meditation will be not departing, in fact, deepening the meditations. Someone not meditate, then meaning that consciousness means option of unconsciousness, then immediately that up to clear light or unconsciousness. The two things coming, right? So one of these things coming, so that depart is way with term of the human language. It doesn't mean they're going nowhere, And that is kind of meditation will be clear light. Unmeditated, there are absent of 3.5 day, absent of the consciousness, awareness that doesn't function all sense organs, like eye cannot see, nor smell, taste, and feelings, all this completely absent, you just can't go on. So that's 3.5 day scripture says your nothing. But that is the kind of, all is the kind of forever undistracting kind of bindu is not really bindu that tangible there, but this kind of is what is kind of going on is this bindu. So we said leave the body. Sometimes they trauma like that. It doesn't mean that anything leave from the body, but another state of mind become. You know, so one is the kind fully silent, clear light. One is fully unconsciousness, unawareness. We don't know where you are. That's answerable. Hope so.
I think so. I think so.
She can ask anything since she wants.
Yeah, she's nodding. She's nodding.
Okay.
So Alexandra asks, how and when do we reincarnate into the precious human body?
Well, this is, as I'm saying, that not when, where, is karma control, you know? So incarnation is become like bodhisattva level. Incarnation term is that when you become bodhisattva, deliberately you born to benefit sentient being. That's the incarnations. We are reborn. Last the guy used it, that good term. We reborn, not our choice. Reborn by our karmic leading us, you know. That's answer.
I hope so. I hope so. So the next question from John Kelsey, he asks, can you please review your comments about non-verbal communication? So I think he's asking about when you were reviewing the, like looking at the bodily signs from the recently deceased person to find out what stage there are in the meditation. So I think that is what he is asking.
Mm-hmm. Review your question one time, please. Clearly, I'm not clear to understand. So
he's asking, can you repeat or review your comments about non-verbal communication?
Non-verbal communications.
And he didn't say this, but my idea here is when the recently deceased, you were saying about the signs of where that person is in the meditation, what stage. That's my idea. I don't know, but that's my best guess of what he's saying here.
Non-verbal communications. So that meaning, yes, I think maybe he talking about not need to hearing the word from the person. You communicate mental to mental.
I think so.
That person is the mental body. So therefore, he can even try to say, he thinks he's saying, but the live person doesn't hear him. But the live person saying, he can hear him. And also that person can see, he has some kind of omniscience. It's not a we call sakchi, sami. Sakchi Gingenshi, meaning that called so he have some kind of clairvoyant that is with afflicted clairvoyant we call, So it's kind of limited clairvoyant means that he know the person what he thinking. He doesn't have to tell who he is, but he say good or bad. You don't have to say, but look at him, the person. He can see what he thinking. So that meaning not communicated by the word, but just by itself, So that case, yes, then you not need to verbally need to communication. I still not clearly what he's saying. So that's my answer. Otherwise, there are no answer to because I don't really understanding for his question. He can rephrase actually his question in more easy ways. I can make it makes sense clearly that.
Okay. No, thank you, Lama Lodu. That essentially answers my question. I couldn't quite hear it, but that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Perfect. All right. So
That's good. You put him there. So that's good.
he just
Okay.
answered. So I have a question here.
Okay.
I have heard not to cry in front of the deceased, so not to cause the deceased not wanting to leave or die peacefully, ?
Is any crying? Yes, not good to crying. Also emotionally, not attach the person who dying, and not to crying, and then just let go. Pray to the ocean to born, and pray to be free of this bardo traveling or anything risk. So that's good idea to do it. It's in front of crying or anyone crying. Doesn't matter the distance, but he only see that crying and the emotion. This will be if someone is really attached, this will be make lots of interfering him to go through the part of lots of easily part. That will be obstructing him to more difficulty because he can see things are not the way he want to go, because of that interfering him to liberations. Yes.
Okay, and that question was from Cindy, so I think that's very good.
Okay.
So then the next question from Alexandra is, how is that some people have the ability to see spirits or ghosts?
That's she talking normally lifetime, right?
I think Alexandra's saying like some people can see ghosts or spirits like when they're alive. Exactly.
I see. Well, that is, our country, many, especially Nepali, and now the Tibetan also see that. I think that karmically they may born in ghosts, immediately born to human, then they communicate. But that question is, I have the omniscience to answer their question. I guess they have, some kind of karmically connected very strongly. So that case, that in karma, born strong karma, he kind of cause him to even invisible being he can communicate and talk to. And sometimes that's truly they're communicating. Sometimes they, I see the Nepali, some people just make up things to impress by other people, I see them, Sikimese people deceiving by that because sometimes they think they have ghosts can talk to. And I say, well, you don't give me this, I'll kill you with this and that. And then people are afraid to give them, so that he'll take that things. So in that case, the ghosts, I'm not impressed by somebody see ghosts. In a long time, and even young, I was thinking of many people say ghosts thing, they see, they talking, this and that. I want to see the ghosts. My lifetime, I never see the ghost. No, I give up. I don't think there's ghosts.
Better to be skeptical of such claims.
Yeah, this is really, I don't believe that,
Right.
That's why scientific too. So I'm like, those are not real things, but there are no logic, no point how I can see there ghosts, I don't see. And some kind of things, they say this happened, that happening. Mentally, you invited. Mentally, you are welcome. Then it will happening. For example, my ex-wife here, when I'm not here, and midnight she will call me. She says, there's ghosts. I said, how come you know ghosts? He said, door is knocking. The window is knocking. But then I thought, maybe one can come. I stay in same room and I saw, yes, door knocking. But what happened is wind knocking the door. Wind knocking the window. I thought, that's ghost? You stupid, this wind. And I opening this, look at this ghost. I said, wind, you see that wind? Now, no wind, you cannot hear. Wait again, wind come, they rattling noise, And so that's also my experience. So I don't see those. Sometimes she thinks that no one here, she's scared. She thinks they're ghosts, She thinks ghosts, empty house, the upstairs, no one here. She's in somebody coming, she's staring, and there's some ghost there. So I think that is, then after that, she said, I'm really released. No, I don't know, there's no ghost. Now I know there's no ghost. So I was learned that way too. Yes, that, sometimes you're mentally, when I'm young, we are staying in a cow barn, some place where And sometimes we think the ghost there. When you can something a little bit nighttime, you can hearing something. I thought ghost there. And the whole night you scared and ghosts come to get me. But actually, it's no one goes there. Just kind of something and pass by some animal. These things that are happening. Sometimes our mentally creating this unnecessary, in the worry about emotion. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So now the next question from Kati is, Dear Rinpoche, when the deceased enters the Bardo of Dharmata, can they hear or comprehend the prayers we make on their behalf for their well-being and that they may take a positive rebirth?
Definitely, because that case, after dying people dead, doesn't matter what language you pray, English, Japan, Chinese, Tibetan, English, doesn't matter. I don't, if someone dead person doesn't speak English, doesn't speak Tibetan, he can hear Tibetan English also. He's communicating on my mental connection, not my words, He's a mental body. So they're hearing and they are affected, But one who pray, that person have to be true compassion to the person who pray. And also true and kind and loving to the person, really want to be any fear and difficulty that person experience, I'm to liberate it, free. And I pray from the depth of my heart, devotion to the world, enlightened one, stainless, pure being. I trust them confident, my devotions inspired, they are stainless, pure. I pray to them to liberate them from whatever suffering, pain they have. So this compassion to the person who dying, devotion to enlightened one, definitely have it. Definitely have it. Yes.
Good, good.
That's an answer she can repress.
I think for sure.
Okay.
And so now another question from, and Kati says, thank you. So the next question is from Jennifer. How to purify karma if we have cried in front of the dying?
To purify karma is, I didn't see any book to say how to purify that. But just crying is not need to purifications. People crying when joyful, people crying are sad, people crying anyway. But again, you crying, it really attached to the person who you lost. In that case, that you detach your devotion and compassion. This the remedy, antidote to purify your crying emotion to that person.
Okay, so there's one more question, and from me actually. So science can detect sometimes something called near-death experiences where the breathing stops, the mind stops, the heart stops, everything is stopping, but then somehow they're able to, maybe 15 minutes later, their heart starts beating, begins to beat again, and maybe they're really busy, the surgeons and so on. So it seems like, do you have an idea of what could be happening, that everything externally looks like that they're dead, but then suddenly they're alive again, 15 minutes later and able to walk around as normal? Do you have some insight on what that could be?
I think that is now, she talking about the operation, deliberately make them to put on consciousness and operate it.
I think,
and then, yes, or no.
I think that when they just die on the operating table and then they're able to come back, like not purposefully, like not by operation, but then naturally they come back to life, it looks like, after 15, 20 minutes, it looks like.
I see. So then they go to operation table and they try to operate it, but suddenly he died completely.
Yes.
And not allowed any more the operation because he's dead. But 15 minutes, he come back again.
Right.
I think that case that, that's we have to be careful, as I'm already mentioned, that the external beating stop doesn't mean people die. he can come back. When external breathing stops, normally we can see he's dead. He's not breathing. That's all, he's not moving, not breathing. That's all we decide. Everybody said he's dead, So that's we make concluded. But that's a mistake there. So therefore you have to wait. And he may, some condition may stop the breathing, not functioning, so he's a limb, but some things make the bring back his life again. So that means he's live long again. That can be possible. So that is mainly the doctor, nurse have to careful immediately decision. And I mean, in the hospital, I say the doctor have to declare he's dead. And doctor not declare he's nothing. He been completely dead, look like. Until that cannot pronounce as dead. Doctor have to say the dead. So doctor can see not breathing, not moving, he said dead. But that could be problem there according to spiritual, according to Buddhist way to things,
Because the inner breathing can still be continuing, correct?
So inner breathing and external condition make external breathing stop. But again, somewhat internal breathing, the life is still standing there, but somewhat meantime the external condition become joined back again, then breathing again. So that means he's life. So somebody throw away, that's not good. But the Tibetan Buddhism never throw away. They quick dead bodies, keeping for months sometimes, Hindu, some religion, they soon as stop breathing, they throw away out. And that's very dangerous. So that's kind of danger there too. Some kind of, story, one, they took the body to cremation, put, in fire, almost fire. They set the fire. The guy immediately from the life come back. That's happening in India. That's they bring up then his life. He become very high yogi up to all that person. Right. So that's his story. Sometimes I saw some story too. So, and that's hard, but you have to be careful anyway. It's one dying person. Long time, people around the person, and now the situation. Then the decision can make because he knows that the person who dying, how his quality, how he does things. So that will be kind of indicated, kind of symbol and a sign will see, no, he's dead now. So something like that. But otherwise, immediately you say, oh, he's not breathing, he's dead. You throw away. That can be dangerous.
I see. This is where Western medicine is not very sophisticated. Maybe it's too stupid.
Yeah, sometimes. But I think, and I go to many people dying in the hospital, I go. And if you communicate to the priests in the hospital, there is priests each hospital. So they friendly with them, they allow what you want.
I see.
But they are not good, then they'll say, move your people, So he give the address that, that Christian priest there and some priests there too, especially more is Christian priest there. I communicate with them. Some of them very nice. You can do whatever you like, you believe. They don't, but he will say, okay, this. I think hospital doesn't bother.
I see.
But then the family doesn't want, hospital doesn't want it, then leave, then he will not say anything. And I have some Tibetan people dying. I was 2 days before he died, I was there with that person. And I keep talking to him. He said, no, just slow down, whatever you want to do it after the death. First, hospital say you take within the 2 hours. And I talked to him, they keep the 3 days.
I see.
Some kind control there for the religion freedom,
Right. Thank you. That's very good to know.
Yes.
I have one more. See, Elaine asks, what is going on with seeing a person appearing after dying to a person? That's a question from Elaine Nem, but I'm not quite sure what that question is.
Singing?
What is going on with seeing a person appearing after dying?
Seeing, I don't understand the first word you say. Seeing?
Seeing, like looking at a person appearing after dying. to a person. I'm not quite sure what that question is.
What
either.
that means?
Yeah.
He's
Elaine, if you could explain that question.
When one is quiet and one sees a dead person appear for a short time after their death to an alive person. What is,
you mean he's appear
yeah,
not physically?
no, like a mirage, like you
I see. So sometimes that live person can see before he died, appear to live person.
No, after they're dead.
After the death,
Yes.
and he appeared to live person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That I think the live person have very connected. Live person have very much longing, and have the feeling the person, and sometimes that you are mentally manifested that things because you are mentally so much like it. You want to see. So sometimes that mentally make up that things look like he's there, but other people may not see. But you can, people who are longing and who are loving, that person can see possible that it can be seen because our mind is very powerful. Many things, impossible thing can possible in mind is very powerful because we longing, you want it, thing like that. So sometimes it's just your memory is so strong that it look like he's appear. He's not appear, but mentally you make appear. That can be. Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I think that's all questions for this afternoon.
Okay, that's good. And I'm very happy to join the next time. We have a little more time to, a little bit not complicate, but, more talking of the deities appear now next.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess we can do dedication then.
Please.
Okay. Wazar Zangye Dawa Taye Dang Ye Sojo Tuje Jempo Dang Yondo Sempa Tujen Tot Namla Zangye Jan Zempa Meko Kiko Te King Waza Patu Mepa Ye Te Wajen Jawe Shinkam Dem Dani Dine Zepugamata Kewa Jenge Vama Chuparu Deru Kenge Nante Jatonjo Teke Dagi Monata Padi Chuchu Sanya Janzem Pamcheki Gyatne Dupa Jingi Lap So Teyata Tenzem Dia Awa Bodanaye Soha Zonam di tamje sepanye tonene pet panam pamje kege nache bala tubaye zepezole dowa sho jamba pawa jeta kyambadang kundo zambo deyan dejente dera kungi jezo dalojin Kewa de da tamze ratunyo, kewa diye kewo kun, sonam yeshe sozone, sonam yeshe lejungwe, dampa kunye to parjo, zangye kuzun ne bejen ladang, tuni migyo de bejen ladang, gendo meche dum bejen api, jeta nyowa monam rupa.
Thank you, Lama. Chuila, all the participants, I hope this small piece of information can use this live, next live. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, and Deborah, and Craig.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. I'll see you soon. Okay. Okay.